to know that I wanted to build my brand and that I was going to do it by educating people on the power behind social media. That in turn was converted into people, me becoming a trusted source to people. Why they hung out with me, they came to my networking events, they saw my TV show, people started a little bit of chatter online pertaining to the social buzz, and from there I was able to establish trusted relationships. Here's all my contact information. It's literally impossible to not find me online, so let's most definitely stay in touch. I'm a Twitterholic. I send tweets out literally 23 out of 24 hours a day. And if you didn't know it yet, Twitter is hands down the most powerful website on the planet. So if you're not tweeting yet, you should be. If you are, high five, continue the good work. Okay, let's see here. I'm not a Mac guy, but I think we can go here. I want to go over 6 points tonight. Real simple, real easy, but I want it to sink in because I want you to leave with what you came for. And that's obviously more knowledge and content pertaining to social media, pertaining to community, and pertaining to what it takes to really get there. I am a big quote guy, but I'm not usually when I'm speaking, but I did throw this in. You've got to want it. By show of hands, nobody wanted it more than Rocky, right? I mean, my goodness, he had 6 movies, hello. Again, I know it's Hollywood, but when you think about it, tell me you didn't stand up in the theater on the Rocky 6 after seeing him after all the kids start swinging, and you leave and you thought, maybe I'll take up boxing. Maybe I will. Change your thought process, but it really helped you walk through the story of almost at defeat, experiencing defeat, and back up. Life is not about finding yourself. It is about creating yourself. I was 2 weeks from homeless 13 months ago, but I had an internal drive that would not allow me to give up and quit. I'm also a full-time dad to a beautiful little 10-year-old named Kayla that said, Daddy, quitting's not an option, let's keep going. So I don't know if it's luck, I don't know if it's being blessed, but I've been through a tremendous amount of startup hell that I know that everyone has experienced at one point or time, and you know, for what it's worth, I'm still in it. I'm not out of it until you see my name on the New York Times bestseller. You've bought my book and heard me speak at South by Southwest, and I've got a consistent $1 million deal. I'm not there yet. It's always a work in progress. You've got to want it, because if you don't want it, nobody's going to instill it in you. But you'd be surprised that when you do want it, the people that are around you that lift you up when you think that you don't want it. It's amazing. It is about relationships, not just with customers, but with people that you're coming in contact with on a daily basis. Second of all, you've got to have a plan. Who's familiar with Gary Vaynerchuk? Anybody? This guy's phenomenal. Equal energy level as me, over the top, high energy. The guy's absolutely exploding right now. About 13 months ago, when I knew I wanted to build my brand, and I had a random friend tell me, you should start a YouTube show, and I said, great, what am I going to talk about? They said, you've got to look up this guy, Gary Vaynerchuk. He wrote a book called Crush It. I think this guy is somebody that will really change your thought process. I read this book. I'm not a reader at all, but Gary read the book as an audio book on Audible. So I got it, a friend gave it to me, I put it on my iPad. So every morning I was running, I had this guy just pumping in information to me going, listen, you can crush it, and here's why. And the common denominator was, we're doing business in a different time right now. It's one of the most exciting times to be in business. We are in the midst of a fundamental shift to the way we communicate. By a show of hands, does everyone agree with that? And it's moving at the speed of light, and we're grossly underestimating where we're at. I read this book 13 months later. Literally, Gary just came out with his second book called The Thank You Economy. Pick both of them up. Phenomenal books. The Thank You Economy. What is that about, Sebastian? I thought the same thing too. It's about the ROI, the true ROI of social media and where we're at with business. Gary's one of the best out there. Just struck a deal with Virgin America. He's the official wine snob of Virgin America flights. Speaking of Sir Branson, has a successful social media agency called VaynerMedia, and has published 2 New York Times bestsellers. Why do I tell you all this? Well, Crush It helped me create a blueprint and know where I wanted to go. And I knew that one day I was going to come in contact with Gary, and I was going to share my story and how that book impacted my journey. 2 months ago, his book stop happened to be here in Miami at Books and Books in Coral Gables. I contacted his office. I'd exchanged a few tweets with him, a few emails with him. Extremely, extremely hard guy to get at, but he is very genuine. So even if he responds with one word or a smiley face, he's getting back to me. I got to his office and I said, hey, can I do a quick 2-minute piece before the book signing on Social Buzz TV? I said, sure. They said, sure, not a problem. That was literally 2 days before the book signing. So I'm thinking, this is awesome. The day of the book signing, I get an email at 8 o'clock in the morning, Gary Vaynerchuk is now following you on Twitter. To me, that was an accomplishment. He's got almost 1 million followers. I've got maybe 3,000, 2,500. That was an accomplishment to me. And then it all started to click, and I'm like, okay, well, it's game time. It's not going to just be a quick flip cam interview with Gary in the hallway. Like, I think I'm going to be able to engage with this guy and really share my story. So what is the story, Sebastian? Well, we came up on our 10th episode, which happened to be the feature that we're doing with Gary. And exactly 12 months later, he's coming out with his second book, The Thank You Economy. And I pulled myself out of almost homelessness with his blueprint and launching Social Buzz TV. And now I have the opportunity to do a quick 2-minute interview. Well, that quick 2-minute interview turned into spending a half hour with Gary. I had a film crew call me that had shot a book signing for Russell Simmons about 6 months back at the same location. They said, we love what you're doing. We've been following you. We'd love to show up with our crew and shoot the piece. Really? Are you sure? I'm making sure it seems like a setup. But people are genuine. People want to do genuine stuff. You've got to let them. We showed up. We sat down. This picture is from the book signing. We sat there I told him it was my 10th episode. He has a wine show called Wine Library TV and asked me why I only did 10 episodes in 12 months. Told me I was making bullshit excuses and I really need to step it up. On camera, told me that, and I was forever challenged there to be able to continue to push content out. He said he had his 10th episode done his second week into Wine Library after he'd pumped out 1,000 episodes. So I learned a lot from there. My plan was, I read Crush It, and I knew I was going to meet Gary one day, and I was going to sit down and I was going to pick his brain. I was able to do that. He followed me on Twitter. I'm in touch with him. He's a diehard Jets fan. So in appreciation of his time, sitting down with me, hanging out with me, and actually just caring about little old Seabass in Miami, I sent him a Mr. Potato Head New York Jets fan and a book that said 100 things New York Jets fans need to know before they die. 2 simple things, cost me $50 if that, but I guarantee they're sitting on his desk. In fact, I got a note that they are. And every time he looks at Mr. Potato Head, he's going to think about Social Buzz. So when you think that somebody's out there hard to reach, these influencers are so easy to reach and to track down. And I shared the story. You can catch it on Social Buzz TV. It's about an 11-minute piece. Awesome content. Gary really throws it down pertaining to where we're at and really helps shape your thinking. So that's my plan, and I encourage you, whether it's an influencer, it's a book, it's a movie, it doesn't matter what it is, find the inspiration from wherever it may be and put that plan together and execute is the most important. Next, you've got to pull, not push. There's way too many people out there going, buy my book, come to my event, buy my product, buy. And again, we've touched a lot on that people think these social platforms are here as a platform to beg, as a platform to throw up on your audience, and they're not. They're here to pull. Those fans that you have, even if it's 30, grow that 30 to 60, that 60 to 90. How do you do that? Answer questions. Ask them how their day is. Tell them you really care. Give them content you know that they want. And don't sell. Gary said, listen, I almost guilted people into buying my book when I interviewed him. He goes, I answered questions on Twitter back in 2008 when I launched Wine Library TV. And once I did that, I just answered questions about Chardonnay, Merlot, Cabernet. And from there, people automatically wanted to start watching my show. Same thing happened with social media when he started to answer questions. It's like that person that calls you all the time when they need something. Or that person that calls you because you know a little bit about everything. I want to be that guy. Gary wants to be that guy. Why? Because if I help you, even if I answer a question and we connected one time, when you're walking through the airport and you see my book for $20, you're going to buy it. And it makes sense. Gary says, I guilt people into doing it. Sounds a little crazy. Once you're at a certain plateau of being an influencer, I believe that you can communicate in that manner, but guilt meaning in a good, very, very positive way. Pull, not push. I built a company with 0 revenue model. Talk about bootstrap. I could be the president of the Bootstrap Club because I didn't start it with $1, no outside capital. I just knew that I had a burning desire to succeed and build my brand, and I was going to do it. Nobody was going to stop me. Can't keep a good man down, right? Once I did that and I made that conscious decision, I just started showing up everywhere. Hey, can I cover your event? Can I shoot a video? Can I be here? Can I send this? Can I blog about it? Can I talk about it? Like, who is this kid? Showing up with the crazy glasses, his energy is off the charts. He's got to be on some sort. Nothing. 1 cup of coffee every day, 100% El Natural, just as a footnote. But I would show up. I know no one believes me. It is the truth. I embrace that pull strategy without even knowing it. Just showing up, going, if I can just come into every situation going, how can I help? I'm always going to have exactly what I want. I'm going to have a business that I want. It's not going to be work. My feet are going to hit the floor every day, and I'm going to like, you know what? We got something here. Because there was a long time that I woke up every day going, I don't know about this. And who are the people to bring you down first, sadly enough? It's your family, and it's the people closest to you to tell you that your ideas are absolutely freaking crazy. You need to get a job.